with innocence. And we stay there unless and until the state proves to you that this was not a citizen's arrest and that Travis was not justified in defending himself against Ahmaud Arbery's attack. And they have to convince you of that. Remove your belief in that citizen's arrest or justification to such a degree that you've got left nothing in your minds to doubt it. And that sounds like an enormous burden. Why? Because they have to make you sure of it. You have to have no hesitation, no ambivalence, absolute certainty, because the stakes are as high as they come. It's the highest level of proof we ever ask for in a courtroom. The court will tell you when they say murder and the facts raise justification, and the judge will tell you justification is self-defense, justification is citizen's arrest. That when the facts are raised to support those defenses, that the state has to disprove them, that you were justified. But why? Why is the standard so incredibly high? And the answer is something you witnessed in this very courtroom. Even in science, errors can happen. And without diligent investigation and inquiry, people can be convicted on the slightest errors, stripped of their freedom for another's inattention or mistakes. Imagine if Dr. Donahue, with all that experience, who made the decision, the conclusion, that the muzzle to target range, the end of Travis's shotgun to the chest of Ahmaud Arbery, was 4 feet away, based on a photograph he compared in a book, without having watched the video, and more egregiously, without even having looked at the clothes that covered Ahmaud Arbery's body. Imagine if that initial conclusion had been all you knew in this case. Wouldn't that have misled you? Wouldn't that have led you to wonder how what you saw in that video matched the opinion of a scientist? Imagine if Bryan hadn't tested Ahmaud Arbery's shirt and scientifically concluded, based on that stippling, that these were contact or near contact wounds. Imagine further if I hadn't emailed Dr. Donahue to take another look at his conclusions based upon the clothing and Bryan Leppard's expert report, and further imagine if Dr. Donahue was not an honorable scientist, if he wasn't willing to admit he'd made a mistake and take another look at the science. So that instead of 3 to 4 feet, we now know it's contact, or 3 inches. 3 inches, as opposed to 4 feet. That is a demonstration to you why the system has to work this way, why the state has such a high burden, with evidence that leaves absolutely no reason to doubt, before any one of you can consider declaring that a man seeking to protect himself and his community is a murderer. You determine the facts, and the judge will tell you the law. So, of course, you need to be given the facts accurately and completely. The painful beauty of this case is that almost all of it is recorded. Security videos from outside people's homes in Satilla Shores. Difficult to listen to 911 tapes. And then, of course, the really hard thing to look at, the cell phone video that captured the last moments. Based on those undisputed recorded facts, still in the face of all that you heard and saw, the state's case demonstrated in what Mr. Hope told you in opening statement. He told you Greg McMichael was absolutely certain, and he was absolutely right.